Welcome to Rose Villa. My name's Hank and this is Rose Villa's main rose garden. I've been taking care of these roses for 30 years now. In that length of time, I've had quite a few questions asked how to correctly prune my roses. And first thing we have to do to answer that question is ask what time of year it is. And right now it's middle of July, and in the middle of July what we do is called maintenance pruning. If this was springtime we'd be doing a lot of corrective pruning, but in that case we probably should do a whole nother video in February. Pruning roses, it's kind of like, as long as you have a pair of sharp shears you can prune a rose almost any time of year that it's actually growing. There's as many ways to prune roses as there are rose pruners. Right now what I'm doing is called maintenance pruning. It's also called grooming. This time of year all I'm doing is taking off the dead roses, the roses that have already bloomed. And in grandiflora roses where you have multiple blossoms on one stem, like right here, there's generally one blossom that blooms first. So if you take that off like that, the energy of the plant will go into making these other blossoms nice and big. And it just makes it look prettier. This is a technique that we use to convince the plant, convince the rose to continue blossoming all the way up into October, November, even into December. If we don't take these off, the rose will start forming what's called rose hips. And a rose hip essentially is, let me take this one off. You take the flowers off, that's the rose hip. That will develop into probably 3 or 4 times that size. It'll turn brown and eventually you can pick it off and it's kind of like an apple on an apple tree. But we're not doing that. We want flowers. So we'll be brutal about it and take off all these old flowers. And you can see by the way I'm going at it, like this little bunch of flowers right here, a lot of those are still looking pretty good. But I'm not going to be back into this rose garden for another week. So I'm just going to take off everything that in the next week will go bad. And it looks like I'm really being brutal here, and I am. But now all the plant's energy will go into these 3 blossoms, and by this time next week those 3 blossoms will be absolutely gorgeous. This blossom still looks like it has some life in it, but if you go like that it loses all of its petals. That's called blasting. And since I've had some experience, I know this one is about 3 or 4 days before it starts to lose its petals. The newer flowers are deeper and more solid colors, where the older flowers are not. Many roses start off in their nice, beautiful golden yellow, and then as they grow older, they'll get this nice rim of pink around there, a nice orangey pink around there, and then they'll finally hit this nice rim of dark pink. When it hits that, you know it's time to pull it off of there. And here's a good example of deadheading a rose there's no more live roses on this branch, so I'll take it down to the branchlet that has, the leaflet that has 5 leaves on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll take it down to this branchlet or leaflet that actually goes to the outside of the plant. The roses bloom on the end of this year's growth. This is this year's growth. And all the blossoms on this cane and this branch have bloomed out, so it's time to take them off. So we'll take them off by cutting down on the branch down to the first leaflet, which is right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that has 5 leaves on it. And the reason we take it down so far is because right here, where the leaflet attaches to the branch, a new branch will come out. A new branch will come right out of there. And out of there, at the end of that branch, will be new blossoms. Now the traditional wisdom says that we should take this branch down to a leaflet with 5 leaves on it. Sometimes I take it down to a leaflet with 5 leaves. Sometimes I'll take it down to a leaflet with 3. Here's one with 3 that has a new branch coming out already. So I'll just take it down to there. Even though there's only 3 leaves on that. This is an example of a rose that's been pruned already. You can see what happened. If you focus in right down in here, you can see the branch was cut here. A new branch grew up that now has 3 nice healthy flower buds on it. So that's about the end of this episode. I'll only say one other thing. Have a good time in your rose garden, and whenever you're working with roses, wear gloves. It always helps. Roses have thorns. Wear leather gloves. Whew. It's a hot July day, and I think I'm done with this. If you want any more information on roses, or if you want to ask me a question, or even just complain about me, you can find me at www.rosevilla.org/roses. I'd appreciate hearing from you. This is Hank, this is Rosevilla, and this is the Rose Garden.